Hello and welcome to Storytime with Emme. Today's story takes place at the Oregon State Fair, where I had my wonderful job working for a catering company, making sure that people had their food and their beverages and that they would have a giggle too. Now, while I was working there at this place, it was about 3 weeks in a row that the state fair was happening. It was really exciting. Got to meet lots of really cool people. There was a group that was next to the place I was working at, and they were called the Rainbow People. Now, they would travel all over the world, and they would do singing and dancing and acting and belly dancing, and they were the loveliest people. So I got to know them. I got to go to their shows during the breaks, got to hang out with them. And I decided I want to join the Rainbow People. I'm going to tell my mom and dad that I'm going to tour around with them for a year and then go to school. So super excited, making my plans. Didn't tell my parents yet, but I was like, I could live out of a backpack. They're going to go to these exotic places. I'm in. So one morning I'm at work super early, getting everything ready in the kitchen. And there's a very, very large Saran Wrap, Glad Wrap. And because in this kitchen, everything is big. It's all industrial size. And I don't know if I got the giggles or I was daydreaming, but I maybe even kind of danced along with the Saran Wrap. I maybe even was dancing like, hey, I'm going to join the Rainbow People, yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know when life happens in slow motion? In slow motion, I imagine that if someone had been watching me, it would have been like, because I'm falling over. I literally fell very, very hard on the floor with, I'm sure, a very large thud. And that would have been okay, right? Falling over, embarrassing, but you're okay. My head kind of hurt. But what I noticed was that my arm and my wrist really started to hurt. This wrist was bleeding a lot. And then when I looked at it closer, I realized I had really opened up my wrist in a very big, big way. And how did I do that? No idea. Then I looked at the very large industrial-sized Saran Wrap, the Glad Wrap that I was holding, and I realized it had very large teeth. When I fell over, it sliced my wrist. And when I realized this, and I looked at my wrist, and it was bleeding and other things that were not pleasant, and I will spare you the details, I fainted. And then I hit my head. So I had a slight concussion, a wrist that looked like not a very nice thing. And everything was like people were saying things to me like, are you okay? But in my head, I'm like, everyone sounded like they were underwater. And I'm like, what? No, I'm joining the Rainbow People. I am. I'm joining the Rainbow People. Apparently, that is all I said. When people asked me what had happened, I just very casually mentioned I was joining the Rainbow People, and that's all they knew. When they asked me for my name, I think I also said Rainbow. So as you can imagine, when the paramedics did come, because I was not well, and I had hit my head pretty hard with the faint, and I was bleeding heavily, they did try to talk to me, and I just remember saying to them, you're talking underwater. Could you come out from the water? So this went on for some time until we made it to the hospital, and they stitched me up, and they gave me, antibiotics for the infection that was going to probably come. And they did say to me, darling, I don't think you're going to be going on tour with the Rainbow People because you need to recover, and you will not be able to use that rest for a couple of days. And I remember saying, oh, it's fine. They'll be fine. I'll let them know. And then it wasn't until the next day, because I did actually go to work the next day, I just had to be really careful, that I realized that the Rainbow People, in fact, had left town. They hadn't told me, they hadn't told anyone. They just up and went, because that's what you do when you can go on tour anywhere. And I shed a tear to this day that I didn't get to join them. And I wonder sometimes if I hadn't had that accident, would I have had the opportunity to go on tour with Rainbow People? I'm not sure. But that is today's story. And lesson learned, I did go off to school. I'm very careful in the kitchen from now on. And I decided to share this story with you today. I hope it made you laugh. Thanks so much for sticking around, listening to Storytime with Emme every week. Please like and subscribe. Comment below. Let me know your questions. Always want to know how you're doing. Love you guys so much. Mwah. Have a gorgeous day. Bye.